So what's up? How you doing today? We're going to take a look at 3 licks from Jerry on Sugaree. This is from the show 5/22/77, which is Dick's Picks Volume 3. So each of these 3 licks I picked, they're all contrasting, and I kind of came up with a label I put on them for what kind of I would describe them as. So rather than me tell you, I want you to see what you think. Let's listen to the first one, me playing with the backing track. They're all quick, so I'm going to play them a couple times. But what do you think? What would you describe this lick as? And then we'll get into it and we'll break it down. So this one I thought of as floating. It's like a floating around. And this tune, first off, is just B and E, right? The verse, intro, and solo section. He solos over that B and E part, and you know, on the surface, you may think it's the key of E, or especially when you look at all the other chords in the tune. But it's really B Mixolydian, just classic dead stuff, Mixolydian mode. So B Mixolydian, and one of the reasons too, it ends on it. The melody ends. Jerry sings that root note, that B. So it really wants to come back to that B chord and that B note all the time. So if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. We're going to just look at the licks note by note, but just know that it's, in a B Mixolydian mode, and those are our 2 chords. And it's also in a 12/8 signature. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it has this underlying triplet feel, so these groups of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So with that in mind, this lick is just playing right along with that feel, that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it by nature then makes it sound to me like it's like kind of just floating on top of the band and stuff. So that's why I'm calling it this floating sound. So it starts right here around this B shape, and it starts on the 3rd of B, and then just goes. So what's happening there? We got to do, first off, a finger roll. If you don't know what that is, instead of going like this, being choppy, you want to get that smooth sound, you want to roll your finger down. In this case, it's a pre-roll. So you're going like this, and then rolling it back down, and then it actually goes back down again. So, because if you go, that's not going to sound very good. And you could, I try to avoid finger rolls and use my fingers right on if you can, because if you do like this, you're a little bit stuck for how you can, kind of move that string and that note. It's like this way, you can get that, but then in this whole thing kind of like, it falls in your fingers nicely like this. So in this particular case, and because it all moves quick and there's no like vibrato on that, I would do the finger roll. In this case, the pre-roll, right? So you're going like that, rolling up. And then the E, here's our E. So it's the root right on the chord there. So it's got that pull off, hammer on, and then does a big leap down there. So everything's already close, and then at the very end it ends with a big leap down to the E down here. So it's kind of going around this E or C shape, the E chord in the C shape. If you know your cage system shapes right there. And if you've seen my video on the chord tones about Sugaree, there you go. Here's a classic example. He's starting off with the 3rd of B, and then the measure of E, he's starting right on the root of E. So there you go. And that's it. So let's check out the second one. What kind of vibe do you think? What would you describe this one? And we'll see what's going on. This one I call attitude. It's like he's got this real attitude, getting a little kind of like bluesy. He's not just hitting up the straight up blues scale, but it's still got this bluesy edge to it. And You know, John Mayer does this a lot in the tune. He pushes that bluesy sound even more so, which is not surprising because he has like a big blues, you know, background and stuff in his playing. But this is also contrasting because it's way up here. So the first one we're floating around, we're down here, we've got the attitude up here, but it doesn't have to be that just that it's higher up. It's got more attitude. Just happens to be that way. So we're way up here on the 19th fret. And now we're focused a lot on bends and things like that, rather than just hitting the notes straight up or doing hammer-ons, pull-offs, things like that. So we've got, and then we got a pre-bend right here with the second finger. And then we get a bend, release, pull-off, all one motion there. And then big attitude there, like that little chromatic note there out of the key. And that's it. Now, this one is also really important to get the timing down in this. And I just kind of like played right through with really zero timing, you know. But my example that I played, I feel like was also a little off, you know. If you want to really get the exact way, go listen to, you know, the original version, the Dick's Picks Volume 3, right at the timestamp there. Just go right to it and listen to Jerry do it. Of course, it's Jerry doing it. You know, we're trying to just kind of like get a little bit of his sound. You know, we're not trying to copy him verbatim, but if you want to get a little more of that rhythm, check it out. Rhythm is it's really like it's like one of the most, if not the most important thing, but it's so hard sometimes to get, or sometimes it's hard to kind of explain to somebody because it's very elusive. And it's something that in my own playing I want to get better at. It's something I focus a lot on, and I probably could have gotten that timing in that example down better if I spent more time. It's a matter sometimes of how much time do you want to spend to get something down perfect, or just not perfect, but to get it down better. And sometimes I'm forced to kind of just accept how it is. But I would really like to get better at my timing and get better at explaining how to work on your timing. But the best thing you can do right now is, again, listen to him and try to listen to your own playing and see if you can really get that timing. That's how you get some of that attitude. It's not just from the bends and how he's playing it, but it's the timing of how it is. And that's the kind of the hardest part to get. So anyways, I digress, but it's a critical part, is to focus on that timing. But with that in mind, let's head into the next lick. Let's see what kind of vibe, what description would you say this one is, and we'll check it out. I'm calling the chord frenzy, or just a regular frenzy, right? So very typical way, you know, Jerry ends solos. He would get right into playing 2 or 3 notes, sometimes a lot of times just triad stuff, and just ripping it on there. So we're way up here again, and we are playing a B7 basically, right? We're in the mixolydian mode, that one chord, that in this case B. And you can often throw in that 7th scale degree, because that's what makes it mixolydian, which is in this case right here an A, that flat 7. So he's just in there and he's just picking away, just right, and then an E, playing an E, just that D shape E chord right here is that E in the middle. So we've got, and then I'm hearing just kind of two notes, kind of like playing this part of a D. I'm sorry, B. And then this part of an E, but right in between, playing that 14th fret just real quick. Yeah, you got that sloppy. Although this is the time to get something that's a little sloppy. He kind of just lets loose here, you know. Kind of being perfect. And then this little thing is like a little sus thing. And that it's going from here to here. That in between, so. finishes with that. And that's, again, I'm calling that the kind of chord frenzy. So, those are 3 licks. Work on those. Get them under your fingers. Try it real slow. Really work out the timing. Listen to the examples I did again. And if you get the chance, head over to the Thick Picks Volume 3 and look at the timestamp spots. Listen to Jerry do it himself. And let me know in the comments down below, what are some of your favorite versions of Sugaree? It's such a great tune. Even if the songs are bands that are just covering it. There's so many good cover versions. Jerry Garcia band, I kind of almost like better than the way the Dead did it themselves, the way he did it with that group. But let me know, what are some of your favorite versions? If you got time to, with your guitar, head over to the backing track, try out this stuff yourself, and have fun with it. And I'll see you in the next video.